Hey warrior, look around for a moment. We're living in an era where people explode over a simple comment, lose their composure because of a text, and let strangers on the internet control how they feel. Most people react instantly, emotionally, and impulsively just because it's the easiest thing to do. But remember, easy is exactly what weakens your strength. A Stoic does the opposite. When the world is shouting, he stays steady. When chaos rises, he stands firm. When others break down, he becomes unshakable. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That one line separates the fragile from the unstoppable. Because the moment you master your emotions, nothing external can dictate your mood. No person, no opinion, no situation. Tonight, we're going to break down 7 Stoic emotional control principles that will make you calmer, sharper, harder to shake, and nearly impossible to break. Before we begin, drop a comment. I master my emotions. 1. Your initial reaction is biology, not wisdom. Your first response is never your true self. It's your body, your nervous system, your survival instinct firing before your intelligence even wakes up. Society trains you to trust that first wave of anger, fear, insecurity, or defensiveness. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Your first reaction is the lowest version of you. Your power comes from refusing to act from that state. Think about the last time someone offended you, ignored your message, interrupted you, questioned you, or embarrassed you in front of others. Your chest tightened, jaw locked, and your mind rushed to defend or attack. That impulse felt urgent, almost uncontrollable. That's biology. That's survival mode. That's the emotional reflex humanity has carried for thousands of years. But here's the truth most people never learn. Feeling is automatic, reacting is a choice. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." He didn't say how you feel, because he knew emotions come first and come fast. Stoic power begins the moment you create a small gap between feeling and action. That space is where your discipline lives. That space is where your character lives. That space is where your strength lives. Imagine someone sends you a disrespectful message. Most people respond instantly with paragraphs, attitude, or emotional heat. They win the moment but lose something far more important: their self-control, their peace, their dignity. A Stoic reads the message, breathes in, breathes out, and lets the wave pass. They understand that most emotional pain lasts under 90 seconds if you don't feed it with reaction. Modern society worships immediacy, instant replies, instant outrage, instant judgment, instant release. But speed destroys wisdom, ruins relationships, and shatters self-respect. People react faster than they think, then regret faster than they can apologize. Stoicism gives you the antidote: pause, observe, interpret, respond later. The pause doesn't make you weak, it makes you untouchable. The person who reacts instantly is predictable. The person who pauses becomes powerful because no one can rush or manipulate a mind that refuses to be triggered. Try this. When someone disrespects you, don't argue. When someone tries to provoke you, don't rise to it. When someone lies, criticizes, or judges you, don't fire back. Just pause, breathe, look at them with steady eyes. That silence isn't fear, it's mastery. In that moment, you reclaim yourself. Their chaos no longer affects your mood. Their emotional storm no longer pulls you in. The moment you pause, the spell breaks. You see clearer, think clearer, choose clearer. And here's the deeper truth. Your pause intimidates more than your anger ever could. Anger is expected. Calm is confusing. Anger is emotional. Calm is strategic. Anger is noise. Calm is power. When you master the pause, you stop reacting like prey and start responding like a warrior. You become the type of person no one can push, provoke, or destabilize. Someone who chooses the right response, not the emotional one. Next time your heart races, your voice rises, or your fingers want to type instantly, step back. Give your wisdom time to show up. Let your biology settle so your mind can take over. Your new mantra: my first reaction is biology. My chosen response is power. That is the first pillar of emotional mastery, and once you master this, no one, not pressure, not insult, not disrespect, can control you. 2. Emotions are the stories you tell yourself. Most people don't understand this. Your emotions aren't facts, they're interpretations, stories your mind creates in seconds, without evidence, without context, without wisdom. The moment you treat the story as truth, your emotions take full command of your life. A friend doesn't reply. Your mind says, they're ignoring me. Someone sounds short. Your mind says, they're upset with me. A coworker doesn't acknowledge your effort. Your mind says, they don't value me. None of these interpretations are guaranteed. They're guesses, not facts. Yet people live and react as if the universe confirmed them. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are troubled, it is not because of the thing itself, but your estimate of it. The event is neutral. Your story is not. Think back to a time someone seemed distant. You worried, overthought, replayed conversations. Later you learned they were tired, busy, or dealing with something else. The story felt real, but wasn't. That's the trap. Your brain fills uncertainty with fear, silence with insecurity, gaps with worst-case scenarios. Why? Because the mind prefers a negative story over no story at all. Stoic mastery begins when you stop believing the first story your mind creates. Emotion is the first story. Wisdom is the second. Truth requires questioning. Your job is to pause long enough to challenge the story, especially the ones that hit hardest. Someone doesn't wave, you feel rejected. But what if they simply didn't notice? Someone leaves you out, you feel unwanted. But what if they assumed you were busy? Your emotional interpretation isn't a psychic vision, it's a reflex. And reflexes are usually built on fear, insecurity, or past pain. Stoicism teaches one question that shatters the illusion. What else could this mean? This doesn't make you naive, it makes you rational. It forces your mind to see other possibilities instead of the most painful one. Try this exercise. Write the emotional story your mind is telling you. Then write 2 alternative explanations. Watch how your emotional intensity drops. Your mind is no longer trapped in one narrative. That's emotional freedom, choosing truth over fear. People who suffer most assume their emotions are accurate. People who stay calm are the ones who investigate. Once you learn to challenge emotional narratives, you stop reacting to illusions, stop fighting imaginary battles, and stop hurting yourself with stories that were never real. Your emotions are loud, but not always honest. They reflect your past and fears, not reality. You become powerful the moment you question them. Your new mindset. I don't follow the story my emotions create. I search for the truth. 3. You cannot allow people to transfer their chaos into you. One of the biggest emotional traps today is absorbing the instability of others. Their anger becomes your stress. Their insecurity becomes your doubt. Their negativity becomes your exhaustion. Without realizing it, you start carrying emotions that were never yours. Someone walks in with a bad mood, the whole room shifts. A coworker snaps and your confidence shakes. A family member unloads their frustration and your peace disappears. People throw their storms onto you because it's easier than facing themselves. If you're not alert, you become the container for a storm you didn't even create. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Not every emotion you feel belongs to you. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And that includes suffering from the imagination of others, their fears, their projections, their inner storms. Emotional contagion is real, but mastery begins the moment you build a boundary between their world and your inner world. Picture this. A co-worker snaps at you over something tiny. Most people instantly take it personally. Did I mess up? Are they upset with me? Is this about me at all? But a Stoic doesn't absorb any of it. A Stoic simply observes, because 9 times out of 10, their reaction has nothing to do with you. Maybe they barely slept, got bad news, felt inadequate, or were dealing with pressure you know nothing about. Their storm becomes yours only if you allow it. Here's the truth. People drowning in their own emotions often look for someone to unload that chaos onto. Don't be that person. What you need is what the Stoics practice daily, an internal firewall, a mental shield that decides what enters and what stays out. This doesn't make you cold or detached. It simply means you refuse to let someone else's lack of emotional control destroy your own. There's one simple phrase that protects your peace instantly. This is theirs, not mine. Someone complains endlessly. This is theirs, not mine. Someone projects their insecurities onto you. This is theirs, not mine. Someone lashes out because they're hurting. This is theirs, not mine. Someone spirals into panic or drama. This is theirs, not mine. This isn't avoidance, it's emotional sovereignty. Try this the next time someone tries to pull you into their emotional storm. Take one slow breath and say quietly in your mind, "Not mine." Respond calmly or choose silence. Keep your posture steady and your tone neutral. When you do this, something powerful happens. People lose the ability to hijack your emotions. Their fire no longer burns you. Their storm no longer shakes you. Their chaos no longer controls the weather inside your mind. You begin to notice who drains your energy and who brings stability. You start seeing clearly who respects your peace and who treats you like a dumping ground. You naturally create distance, not emotional coldness, but emotional clarity. Some people may call you quiet, hard to read, or too calm because you refuse to absorb their chaos. But remember this, those words come from people who are addicted to emotional turbulence. Your calm exposes their lack of control. Always remember this truth. You are not responsible for emotions that others refuse to manage. You are responsible only for your reaction, your boundaries, and your peace. Your strength grows the moment you stop carrying storms that were never yours. That is emotional discipline, and in today's world, it's one of the rarest forms of power. 4. Control your attention and you control your emotions. If you want to understand why your emotions feel unstable, here's the truth most people overlook. Your emotions follow your attention. Whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you repeatedly look at shapes your inner world, and whatever constantly captures your attention ends up controlling how you feel. Today, attention is being stolen everywhere. Notifications, online arguments, headlines crafted to spark fear, comments meant to provoke anger, comparison traps that trigger insecurity. Most people don't realize that their emotional chaos doesn't even originate inside them. It begins with what they allow into their awareness. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And now those thoughts are influenced by every screen, sound, confrontation, and distraction attacking your attention. If your attention is scattered, your emotions will be scattered. If your attention is anxious, your emotions will mirror that anxiety. If your attention lingers on negativity, your emotional state will reflect that negativity. Your emotional life cannot rise above the quality of your attention. Think about how your day feels when it starts with scrolling. You absorb anger, fear, drama, complaining, and curated perfection that makes you feel behind. Then you wonder why you're irritated or insecure before you've even begun your day. That isn't your personality. That's your attention being hijacked. Think about how easily someone else's tone or mistake can dominate your inner world when you give it too much mental space. If you replay what they said over and over, your emotions get trapped in cycles of resentment or anxiety. But the moment you pull your attention away, your emotional state shifts instantly. This is why the Stoics treated attention as discipline, sacred, intentional, guarded. Your attention is the doorway into your emotional life. Leave the door wide open and anything can walk in. Guard it, and your emotions stop being unpredictable storms and start becoming deliberate choices. Here's the truth. You can't control every situation, but you can control where your mind rests. And that shapes your emotions far more than the situation itself. Try this for one day. Catch yourself each time your mind drifts into unnecessary drama, comparison, or fear. Notice how your body reacts. Then redirect your attention to your breath, your task, your values, your next step. You'll feel the emotional shift instantly. Where focus goes, emotion flows. The world wants your attention because attention is power. Corporations want it. Strangers online want it. People who thrive in chaos want it. They know that if they have your attention, they influence your emotions, your reactions, and your peace. Take your attention back, and your emotional world becomes yours again. A Stoic practices 3 layers of attention discipline. 1. Limit the noise. Reduce exposure to people, places, and platforms that feed emotional chaos. 2. Direct your focus. Choose what deserves your mental energy, your growth, your health, your priorities, your virtues, your meaningful work. 3. Guard your input. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Not every message needs a reply. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every problem deserves space in your head. When you command your attention, you stop reacting emotionally. You start responding intentionally. And once your attention obeys you, your emotions naturally follow that discipline. Never forget this. You feel what you feed your mind. You become what you consistently focus on. And nothing can break a person who carefully chooses what enters their attention. This is the Stoic path. Guard your mind, and your emotions will guard you. 5. You only control action, not outcome. One of the biggest emotional burdens people unknowingly carry is the illusion that they can control outcomes. They believe they can control how others respond, how situations unfold, how opportunities turn out, how relationships progress, or how life rewards their effort. And when reality doesn't match their expectations, they collapse, not because life was cruel, but because the expectations were unrealistic. Stoicism removes that illusion with a single principle. Control what you do, not what happens. Most emotional suffering comes from trying to control what was never yours. You send a message hoping for a certain response. You show kindness, hoping for appreciation. You give loyalty, hoping to receive loyalty. You work hard, hoping for recognition. You put in effort, expecting life to follow your plan. And when it doesn't, your emotions crash. Not because of the moment itself, but because of the expectation you had attached to it. Epictetus said it clearly: some things are up to us, and some things are not. This is the foundation of emotional strength. Your actions, your choices, your attitude, your discipline, those belong to you. Everything else, the timing, the response, the opinions, the results, does not. When you mix the two, you suffer. When you separate them, you become unshakable. Think about relationships. You can love with honesty, communicate with maturity, set boundaries with self-respect. But you cannot control whether someone grows, stays, understands, or chooses you. That part is theirs, not yours. The moment you link your peace to their choices, you surrender your power. Think about your career. You can prepare thoroughly, work with precision, show up with consistency, but you cannot control the market, timing, decisions made behind closed doors, or the randomness of life. If you believe effort guarantees a specific reward, disappointment becomes guaranteed too. Think about your goals. You can train, practice, improve, and stay dedicated, but you cannot demand instant progress or instant results. Growth requires patience. Mastery requires time. Life does not bend to your personal schedule. When you shift your focus from outcome to action, your emotions stop swinging wildly. You become steady, calm, grounded. Why? Because you're investing energy only into the part you truly command. Here's a truth most people ignore. Your emotional pain doesn't come from the situation. It comes from wanting to control the outcome of the situation. This is where Stoicism becomes a superpower. The moment you commit fully to the action and release your attachment to the result, you become mentally untouchable. Try this exercise practiced by thinkers, warriors, and leaders for centuries. Draw 2 columns. Left, what I can control. Right, what I cannot. Write your situation across both sides. You'll feel the emotional pressure fade instantly because your mind stops fighting battles it cannot win. This isn't passivity, it's precision. It isn't indifference, it's wisdom. It isn't coldness, it's freedom. People who tie their emotional stability to outcomes live in constant disappointment. People who tie their emotional stability to actions live in constant growth. Imagine the strength you gain when your peace comes only from what you do, not from who approves, who notices, or how fast results appear. That's the clarity of a Stoic. That's the inner freedom that makes a person unstoppable. Your new mental frame is simple. Your responsibility is action. Life's responsibility is the outcome. When you respect that separation, no failure, no rejection, no delay, and no unexpected turn can break you again. 6. Emotional discipline creates real strength. People talk about strength as if it comes from the gym, or from being louder, tougher, or more aggressive. But real strength, the kind that earns respect and keeps you steady in chaos, comes from emotional discipline. Without it, life falls apart quickly. With it, every part of your life rises. Notice how fast someone loses credibility when they can't manage their emotions. A leader who cracks under pressure, a partner who explodes during conflict, a friend who becomes chaotic when overwhelmed, a coworker who panics at the smallest mistake. People don't lose trust because they fail. They lose trust because they fall apart while failing. Stoics believed that emotional steadiness is a virtue. Marcus Aurelius said the mind must remain unshaken, not because life is soft, but because real strength comes from staying composed when everything around you shakes. Emotional discipline isn't about hiding feelings, it's about controlling the response. You don't have to be cold, you just need to stay in command. Think about the people who truly inspire you. They're not the loud, reactive, or explosive ones. They're the ones who remain calm in difficulty, thoughtful in conflict, steady under pressure, and consistent even on hard days. People trust emotionally disciplined individuals because they feel safe in their presence. Yet, this is the quality most people neglect. Instead, they let emotions dictate everything. Good day, confident. Bad day, defeated, approved, energized, criticized, shattered, noticed, secure, ignored, insecure. When your emotions create your identity, you have no stable identity. But when you choose your emotional state, everything changes. You become the calm one in the room. You become the anchor in chaos. You become the person who can't be manipulated or provoked. You become steady. Emotional discipline doesn't mean you feel less. It means you react less. Try this every morning. Choose one emotional quality to embody: calm, patience, clarity, resilience, steadiness, or neutrality. Let that be your emotional compass for the day. Whenever frustration appears, return to your chosen state. This single habit reshapes your nervous system, builds identity-level discipline, and strengthens you faster than any motivational talk ever could. And as you stick with it, something powerful happens. Your reactions slow, your decisions sharpen, your relationships settle, your confidence deepens, your inner world becomes solid. When your inner world is solid, the outer world loses its grip on you. People without emotional discipline get tossed around by every inconvenience. A rude comment ruins their day. A mistake destroys their confidence. A delay breaks their spirit. But a disciplined mind doesn't crumble. It doesn't spiral. It adapts, adjusts, and continues forward. Here's the truth. The strongest people aren't emotionless. They're unshakable. They feel deeply, but respond wisely. They face pressure, but stay composed. They experience setbacks, but do not collapse. Their power is quiet, controlled, intentional. And emotional discipline is built the same way strength is built. One steady response at a time, one calm breath at a time, one pause before reacting, one difficult moment handled with clarity instead of chaos. Emotional discipline isn't a talent. It's a practice. It's a trained ability. And once you build it, you become someone extremely rare. Because while most people crumble from the inside out, you become the one person who stays centered. Carry this with you daily. Practice the pause. Question the story. Protect your attention. Choose your emotional state. And when life hits hard, remind yourself, I don't control the storm, but I control myself. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment and share which truth impacted you most. And if you want more content that sharpens your mind and strengthens your discipline, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. Because emotional mastery is not just a lesson, it's a way of living, a stoic way of living. 7. If you master your emotions, life cannot break you. Life will test you in ways you never prepared for. It will take things you weren't ready to let go of. It will hit you with betrayal, knock you down with failure, and present moments that feel too heavy for any single human being. No one escapes difficulty, no one escapes loss, no one escapes pain. But the difference between those who break and those who rise comes down to one skill: emotional mastery. People collapse not because life is unbearably harsh, but because they never trained their inner world. They never built a mind strong enough to endure uncertainty, pressure, disappointment, or chaos. So when the storm arrives, they fall emotionally long before anything physically collapses. The Stoics lived through war, exile, injustice, and sudden tragedy. Yet they became some of the most resilient humans to ever walk the earth. Why? Because they understood a timeless truth: the obstacle becomes the path. Marcus Aurelius didn't write this from a place of ease. He wrote it surrounded by battle, loss, betrayal, and overwhelming responsibility. He discovered that hardship doesn't destroy you, your emotional reaction does. Pain doesn't break you, your resistance to pain does. The event itself is rarely what shatters a person. It's the meaning they attach to it. When you master your inner state, you stop giving life the power to break you. Imagine this: you lose an opportunity. Most people spiral into doubt or discouragement, but a Stoic sees a redirection, a lesson, a shift. You face betrayal. Most people drown in anger or self-pity, but a Stoic sees truth revealed, clarity gained, self-respect reinforced. You face failure. Most people believe it defines them, but a Stoic sees information, progress, refinement. You face uncertainty, most panic, but a Stoic breathes, observes, adjusts, and moves forward. Your emotional response decides whether a challenge becomes your downfall or your transformation. Life cannot break a person who refuses to surrender their inner stability. You don't control the storm, but you control the ship. You don't control the waves, but you control the direction. You don't control the outcome, but you control the preparation. And this is where emotional mastery becomes almost supernatural. When your internal state remains steady, external chaos loses its influence. People may betray you, you stay steady. Plans may fail, you stay steady. Life may shift, you stay steady. People may judge, you stay steady. Opportunities may slip, you stay steady. Strength doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you don't fall apart. Try this Stoic ritual. Whenever life hits hard, sit down, place one hand on your chest, breathe deeply and say, "Nothing inside me breaks without my permission." Feel it. Let it sink in. Your mind, not the situation, defines your resilience. Your discipline, not your circumstances, forms your armor. Stoics didn't train to avoid suffering, they trained to remain themselves within suffering. That is the true power. Emotional mastery doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger than what life throws at you. And when your inner world becomes harder to shake than the outer world, you enter a state very few ever experience. Calm in crisis, purpose in chaos, strength in uncertainty, peace in pressure, clarity in seasons of change. This is what makes someone truly unbreakable, not muscle, not money, not status, but mastery over the one thing life cannot take unless you give it away, your inner state. Your new truth is simple and final. Life can challenge me, but it cannot break me, because I decide what happens within. That is the highest Stoic victory. That is emotional freedom. That is real, unshakable power. If you've reached this point, then you already understand something most people never discover. Emotional mastery isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming powerful enough to choose your response, guard your peace, and stay grounded no matter what the world throws your way. These 7 insights aren't theories. They are tools. Tools you can use every day to remain centered when others lose control, to stay calm when others panic, to stay clear when others collapse under fear, anger, or insecurity. Remember this. The world will always try to provoke you. People will test your patience. Situations will challenge your courage. Life will shift unexpectedly, but none of that determines who you become. Only your inner discipline does. You're strongest when your mind is steady. You're most respected when your reactions are intentional. You're impossible to break when your emotions answer to you, not to the world.